You know what I enjoy more than a Fast and Furious spin-off film, Mason?
You enjoy nothing more than that.
Disagree. Parody trumps spin-off every time. Everybody knows that.
That is actually true now that now that I think about it. Yeah, okay, all right.
This week we're looking at the parody spin-off, not a spin-off, just a parody.
What if it was a real, what if this was an authorized parody?
I feel like Hobbs and Shaw looks like an authorized parody.
It really
There's
does.
superpowers and
Yep,
people flying down buildings. Mm-hmm. But this one, Superfast, was a 2015 release to coincide with whatever Fast and Furious movie came out that year.
I think it was 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But it was not without its production woes, Mason.
Really?
I'll talk about the budget a bit later.
Okay.
I have my suspicions about that. And also, the death of Paul Walker impacted this movie, because this was actually released on video on demand the same day as Fast 7 or whatever that.
I thought you were going to say on the day he died, and he was rushing out to the video on demand store.
Oh, that's in poor form, Mason.
No, it's fine.
If you're not familiar with the writer-director duo behind this, Friedberg and
Seltzer.
Here's some of the movies you may have heard of theirs. They wrote Scary Movie, just the first one,
Okay, sure.
which some people consider fine. It's got a 54% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Then they did Date Movie, Epic Movie, Meet the Spartans, Disaster Movie, Vampires Suck, Starving Games, Best Night Ever, Superfast. The Rotten Tomato scores on those range between 7 and 0%.
Incredible.
And this one does not have a Rotten Tomato score.
Because this is presumably where they just gave up. All the reviewers were like, nah.
No, not this one.
As if.
Yeah. Having only seen bits and pieces of these movies, I don't feel this is the worst one. Probably.
I was expecting a lot worse.
I mean, it's not good by any stretch of the imagination.
But you know what? It's not good, but I settled into it. And I think it's partly because I just settled into it at Stockholm Syndrome, and partly because I stopped paying attention.
I was going to say you're on your phone.
I was on my phone for most of it.
But it does kind of open similarly to the first one, because you've got your Paul Walker character. We'll just call them the names of the actors that they're parodying.
Well, the Vin Diesel character's name is Vin.
Yeah, and look, all the actors that they got look enough like the people that they're parodying.
Yeah.
But the Paul Walker guy's doing a Keanu Reeves, I think.
Or a Pauly Shore. I wasn't sure.
But when he rolls up to the race, he's got like I break for hugs on his car, and it says Justin Bieber fan, and he's never driven stick, and it's like these are all good jokes to open the movie.
I was impressed with this movie because it wasn't just like, hey everybody, here's Britney Spears.
Yes.
Like here's someone dressed as Britney Spears.
That's what I thought it was going to be, because
I thought it was going to be a series of cheap references to whatever was happening in 2014, 2015.
Yes. What I've seen of Meet the Spartans, they're like, look at that guy who's screaming about Britney Spears under a blanket or whatever. He's Britney Spears shaving her head or whatever.
What I was expecting was a lot of Britney Spears references, and I was bitterly disappointed.
There's really none of that.
Yeah.
It's mostly just very poor gags. And one of the gags that they open with at the beginning is the Michelle Rodriguez character who's dating Vin Diesel is gay in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I think that's parodying that Michelle Rodriguez in real life is bisexual. So they're like, isn't this funny?
That is pretty funny. Imagine
a world.
Imagine being slightly different from another person. That is funny and worthy of a gentle ribbing, isn't it?
And their first race, by the way, the races look terrible in this.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a cheap.
No, it's not that cheap. And I'll get to it in a bit. I'll get to it at the end.
Okay.
Paul Walker loses because, first of all, he runs out of fuel because he doesn't have any fuel in his car at the beginning. And then at the end, he uses Lance Armstrong's urine to power his car. There's a topical reference for
there
you,
we go.
Mason.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah,
they snuck one
I bet
in.
it wasn't. I bet Lance Armstrong's star fell many years prior.
You're probably right. At least it wasn't Britney Spears' tears or something like that.
See, that would have redeemed it.
After Paul Walker loses, the cops show up and they tase him. And when they're tasing him, he's doing the robot, which is a good joke. Except he's not really doing the robot. Like, he's not good at doing the robot. Get a guy who can do the robot.
That's if you're casting and the opening sequence needs him to be doing the robot.
Yeah.
Get a guy who's good at doing the robot.
And I don't begrudge any of the actors in this, man. You gotta work. And the material that they're working with, I would say nobody in this is terrible in what they're doing, in what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're doing exactly that. Mm-hmm. If not more, in some cases.
They're giving it their all.
Yeah,
with some
absolutely.
very average material. I even think that these guys are quite good. These guys are very good at delivering some average jokes.
Yeah.
Maybe they suggested some better stuff on the day. I don't know.
But yeah, it's after the race that I realised that it is just...
In 2012, a United States anti-doping agency investigation concluded that Armstrong had used performance-enhancing drugs over the course of his career. 3 years it took. 3 years.
That's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, his pee wouldn't even be that potent by then.
No, that's right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
It would have just been regular urine. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so he rolls up to Vince's shop, Vin, whatever his name is, and he gives him a job, even though he's a cop and he's dating his sister, and they're immediately in love or whatever. And then they go to meet a gangster for a deal, the bad guy. He's the big gangster in the town, and their audition to drive the cars for this guy and do some kind of heist or whatever it is that they're supposed to do. I don't remember. I made notes, but I still don't remember. Is you think it's going to be another car race, but it's a very long, extended dance-off sequence.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
okay.
reasonably well choreographed.
I wonder about this movie. Who's it for?
Yeah.
Like, because
It's for tricking grandmas, I think.
it is for tricking grandmas. I would have thought that people who are hardcore into the Fast and Furious movies, some real gearheads.
Yeah.
Is this for them?
Those movies are basically parodies of action movies anyway. Like,
Oh,
they're
right.
so serious and full of themselves and so ridiculous. And they know what they're doing in making them. I think they know what they're doing. I think they're doing it on purpose. It doesn't really work for
It's
parody.
hard to parody a parody.
You know?
Seltzer and Friedberg
Yeah.
have spent their entire careers attempting to parody parodies. That's why none of their movies work. Because it's like date movie. Look at
Let's do all the romantic comedies and whatever.
like a romantic comedy would. Cool, except with poorer jokes. Incredible.
Right. So anyway, they go to deliver. No, that's right. They're delivering something for the crime boss to get a car, to get an expensive car, but it's a bomb. And then Paul Walker accidentally shoots the cop who was his boss, and then he gets framed for the murder. Even though I guess he did murder him.
He did murder him.
So,
Exactly right.
He didn't
yeah.
get framed for the murder. He did a murder. Yeah. And this is when The Rock shows up. And this is I think is the high point, but it's so brief because
Yes.
the guy who plays The Rock, and I didn't know The Rock does this. He's got a look, like he does a neck kind of snap look into position. And I'm like, oh, The Rock does do that. But that's the only thing the guy
This guy's a
kinda does.
chameleon.
Yeah, absolutely. But the rest of it it's that look, and then he kind of stops doing it. I think they just forget,
Right,
so he stops doing it. And then he just rubs himself in baby oil for the rest
He
of
wears
the
a very
movie.
tight shirt and he rubs himself
Yeah.
down all the time. Yeah, that's his whole bit.
And also he's dumb, I guess, because his partner's telling him what to do because he's not really smart as a cop. Is that right?
But that's not part of.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know, but the Rock's character in those movies is not dumb.
No, but it's a parody. Oh. But they get Paul Walker's handprint off the cop with a black light, and also it's at that point we see that The Rock is covered in semen for some reason. It's not really.
Is it semen or bed bugs?
I don't know, because it's little wiggly I don't know. It's an odd joke.
But you know, it's
Is he gay? Is
as
that the joke again?
No,
is it his own semen?
Maybe.
What's happening?
But it makes you think, doesn't it? And that's what a movie. That's what all good art does. Makes you think, you know.
So the gangster is going to kill Vin Diesel's crew. Paul Walker's wanted for murder. For the murder he did.
Yes.
The reason the car's important is because it has all the gangsters' details in there of all the gangsters' crimes
Yeah.
in the computer of the car.
Yeah.
And there's a moment when they go, something smells fishy, and there's just a fish sitting in the car.
Yeah, oh, there sure is. And then they move it, and then there's just like you can just see the little TV screen in the car, and it just says like list of crimes I've
Yeah.
done. But what was in Fast and Furious 7? There was some stuff in a car, wasn't there?
There's always stuff in a car.
Yeah.
Whether it be whatever those movies are about. I have no examples.
Okay, great. What's happened here is you watching this movie has retroactively erased all the knowledge of the actual Fast and the Furious movies from your brain.
It would appear that way, yeah.
yeah.
So they decide to assemble a crew, like the Fast and Furious movies do, Mason.
Yes.
They get an Asian guy, who's actually Chris Pang. He's an Australian actor.
Is he?
He's in Crazy Rich Asians. I met him once. He's a really good dude. And I'm glad he's working and he's doing better than this.
And you.
And
He's doing better than
he's
you.
doing infinitely better than me.
See, what's happening here is probably Chris Pang has watched the first 2 minutes of the video, watched you rubbish him, and has switched off. You should have complimented him at the start.
You're right, exactly.
Now he hasn't gotten to this point.
There's also they get a rapper and they get a model, who I assume is the Gal Gadot character.
Sure, uh-huh.
Anyway, Paul Walker's having a baby with Vin Diesel's sister, and there's another extended joke where he doesn't get that he's having a baby. She keeps using metaphors of having a baby, and he's like, what? He does his Pauly Shore thing. Goes for like maybe 43 minutes. I don't know. It's a really long joke. Yeah.
But it's a good joke, so...
Oh, yeah, you're right. But then the robbery is on.
Yes.
And they go to a place and they beat up some people, but it's the wrong place and they beat up a priest and a nun.
Yes.
It's a parody.
That's funny.
It's a good joke. And then You know, at this point,
I love how you took notes about this movie.
One of us had to, because we
Yeah.
need to remember the plot, don't
No, we don't though. That's the thing.
But it was this
Or
point.
here's the thing that I do remember about this movie. So the crime boss that he's like a little squat middle-aged man.
Yes.
But he's also super ripped and knows karate.
Yeah.
Did you see that bit?
I did see that
He
bit.
beats up your friend Chris Pang.
My good friend Chris Pang.
He beats him
yeah.
up, and and not just like they got a stunt double to come in. He's doing
doing good
flying kicks. He's
good
doing
kicks.
spin kicks.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the movie. This squat little oily dude, this middle-aged man doing spin kicks.
And the other thing I noticed about this movie, if you took out the extended jokes,
It'd go for like.
it would be like a 15-minute movie.
It feels like a Mad TV parody, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the idea is now to get into the villain's vault, which is inside a taco shop. In there, they've got naked girls who are counting the money so they can't steal money, so they send in 2 of their crew. They need a DNA sample from the boss to open the vault because you have to kiss it and it opens. It's a good joke. It's a parody because that's
It's a
not
parody,
how a vault
yeah.
works.
And that's where we get the oily spin kick.
That's what I was going to say, leading into that, because they need to get the sweat from his butt crack to open
It's the funniest
vault.
place to get some sweat from
It
someone.
certainly is, yeah. Anyway, they open it up. No, sorry, I just realised what I'm explaining isn't what actually happened. It's their explanation for how they're going to do the heist.
Yes, correct.
None of those things that I just said happened in the movie.
They tricked
it's
you.
a hypothetical scenario, and then they just walk in and just
Start shooting,
and then they strap chains to the taco shop and drag it like they do with the safe in whatever movie that one happens in.
Yeah,
So that's the idea.
Or in the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Very funny film.
Very funny film. It's a parody of those straight-laced pirate films.
I'm sure a Johnny Depp version has turned up in one of these
He's in
movies.
Epic Movie.
Okay, he's in Epic
He's in
Movie.
Epic
There you
Movie.
go. Well, that makes sense, yeah. Okay, they're dragging the building. There's a chase.
Just to be clear, this is the point where I stopped watching. So you're taking the wheel
I'll
here.
fill it in.
You're the Vin Diesel of this particular podcast retelling of this movie because I stopped watching.
La Familia.
It's not that I didn't have time. I had time. I didn't have the interest.
This is interesting because you're saying this movie's fine and you didn't hate it. But you didn't finish it.
Correct,
And
yes.
you didn't take notes.
Yep.
That's why you think it's fine.
Yeah, because it's a piece of cinematic ephemera that I threw away as soon as I finished with it. I'll never think about it again. But you'll never not think
You're
about it.
probably right.
You'll go to bed every night for the rest of your life thinking about the movie Superfast.
So the Michelle Rodriguez character gets arrested, but she's happy because
She gets to go to women's prison, if I had to guess, yes.
And the female cop arrests her, and she's gay, and that's funny. The Rock gets bribed by your favorite oily squat gentleman.
Okay.
With human growth hormone and tight t-shirts and a razor to let him go. So the Rock character lets him go, which I feel is against the character in this film. I mean, he's stupid, but he's down the line. You know what I mean?
right.
It flies in the face of what they've
Of
established.
the pre-established character of the Rock parody man. You're
That's
absolutely right.
And then Paul Walker's then revealed to be a cop, but he double crosses The Rock because The Rock's a good guy again, I guess. But then bloody, what's his name? The boss is like, now I'm gonna shoot you guys because I'm a gangster. But then Michelle Rodriguez is making out with the cop in the car and they run him over because
Nice.
she's gay, and
That is funny.
really funny.
That is pretty
So,
funny,
yeah.
actually, yeah. And women can't drive.
there's there's 2 really good jokes in that.
Two really
isn't
good jokes, isn't there? Yeah.
I forgot to mention this, but the Vin Diesel character, his GPS hates him and makes fun of him, and at the end it takes him to a wig shop.
That is pretty funny.
So there's outtakes for this, so they're kind of laughing on set, and they seem like they're having fun, man. And look, they're getting paid. The dude who's the Vin Diesel character, he showed up recently in Barry, the TV show Barry.
Did he? Who is he in Barry?
He's the lunatic mercenary guy who wants to
is
work
he?
with Barry. So yeah,
Guys, he is a chameleon because I
That's what
wouldn't
I'm-
even
exactly.
know. Yeah, right,
So
he's great in that.
it's not without talent. This
Yes.
movie is what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
This is the last one they've done.
Except for the writers.
Yeah, sorry. But I just wanted to mention this quickly. This movie, it doesn't have a convincing effect or stunt or a sense that anybody's driving anywhere or that it's even not filmed on the same street or back lot.
Uh-huh.
It feels very much like that. It has a $20 million budget.
Incredible.
It only made $400,000, a bit over in the US alone, and I think about $2 million worldwide. For comparison, here are some low-budget action movies, and you tell me whether somebody just made off with a bunch of money on this film.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Raid, $1.1 million. Hardcore Henry, $2 million.
Wow, all right.
Upgrade, $3 to $5 million.
He's very tricky. He won't tell us they are friendly
That's
with
right.
us.
I interviewed him. He wouldn't tell me. Shaun of the Dead, $6 million.
Yeah.
Desperado, $7 million. Crank, $12 million.
Wow.
Drive, $15 million. John Wick,
I don't know.
$20 million.
Wow,
This
yeah.
has the same budget as John fucking Wick.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that I knew what the budget of this was going in, so it definitely soured my already sour mood of what happened.
You're right. Where did it go? Maybe there was incredible craft services on the day.
Well, they did
the
seem-
one day that they filmed.
It premiered in Italy on March 5th, 2015,
Good sign.
where it debuted in the number 8 position.
Oh, numero otto.
That's right.
That's right.
It's fucking terrible.
Well, I loved it.
I don't think it's the worst one, probably, because of the lack of references.
Yes.
We'll probably end up doing superhero movie at one point,
Oh, I cannot wait.
which will probably be...
That'll be much worse. This
Yeah.
one, because I love Flying High or Airplane.
Yeah.
It's a real title from the US. I
Sure.
think that movie's great, but had I seen that,
Some of the scary movies have some good jokes in them,
I
from
agree.
memory.
First one's alright, I think.
Yeah. These guys wrote Spy Hard. Did I mention that earlier?
I can't remember.
But yeah, so you're not against a parody as well.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Not even a dumb parody.
Yeah.
But it's just, it must be tough to hit the mark on these things.
It seems
and
that
I
way.
think it's too, this movie is too specific because it's just the plot of the first with a couple of jokes added around
Yes. It's a worse telling of that narrative.
it. Yeah.
With worse jokes. And this is supposed to be the funnier version of that.
Mm.
Anyway, it's fucking terrible. It's crap. This is Caravan of Garbage. There's an extended version of this if you want to check it out, linked below. We also do videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. If you've got something to recommend for Caravan of Garbage, please let us know.
If there's a huge demand for watching superhero movie, we'll watch it.
Actually, I don't think they did superhero movie. They
they?
did epic movie.
Well, we don't have to. We're not married to what exclusively at this point watching Seltzer and Friedberg movies. We can watch anything.
Or read anything. Sometimes it's a comic.
Yeah.
Or play anything. Sometimes it's a video game.
That's right.
Yeah. You had an idea, a really good idea for closer to the movie for a Fast and Furious-esque
Yeah,
movie,
okay, well, we'll get to that.
which you might look at, but that's a little teaser for later. Anyway, thanks for watching this. We also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. It comes out every Monday morning where we talk the news of the week and then a topic.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a fun...
Grab that gem, you guys.
Grab the gem.
We'll
we all
see you
say
next
that.
time.
We both say it.
No, we don't. It's
Both
just
our
made.
catchphrase.
No, you say a
Goodbye.
weird- you say a dumber one.
It's a parody, Mason.
Oh, okay, I get it now.